We're live. Okay. And we're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay-at-home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the clean-hearted, good-hearted people out there who wish good for others as much as you wish good for yourself. I have the utmost respect for you as well. Listen, here we are this morning on another Morning Thoughts with SouFLoTV. I cannot see my live chat and I don't know why. So I don't know who is here. Let me see something. Pop out chat. Nope, that's not gonna do it. Okay. Now I'm seeing the chat, but I can't see myself. Anyhow, we're gonna roll with it same way. I don't know why the computer is doing a bunch of crazy stuff this morning, but I'm gonna work with what we can work with. So shout out to everybody this morning, man. It is what today is? Wednesday, right? I should be saying happy hump day. Happy hump day, everybody. Please take a look at my face and tell me if it looks different from yesterday, if it has not swollen anymore. As I told you yesterday, if my face swells up anymore, I'm going to have to go to the emergency room. Can't go to the dentist anymore because it has become an emergency situation. As far as I can tell, it looks like the swelling is going down now, right? I would appreciate some feedback from you. Listen, we have a couple of things to talk about this morning. Just like the title of the video said, we're going to talk about, are you relationship ready? Because a lot of people out here right now blame everybody else but themselves. And the problem is that you keep getting into relationships when you yourself are not relationship ready. So we're going to go through 5 pointers. If you can look at yourself and ask yourself these questions and your answer is no, I'm not that person or I'm not there yet, then you might not be relationship ready. Let me shout my disclaimer on the relationship stuff first. I am no expert at this topic. I am just a man that is living life and I try to teach from my own experiences. The best way to teach is through experience. For instance, if you're talking to somebody and they're giving you advice, this is what you should do with your children. You know, you should make sure you do this and make sure you do that. The first thing you're going to want to know from this person is what? Do you have any kids? Right? Do you have any kids? Because you can't talk until you have them, until you're raising them. Compared to yesterday, it looks a little swollen, but not by a lot. Thank you, BLSM. I appreciate that. The swelling is going down nicely. Michelle Williams, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. I like the feedback, so I know that I'm not hallucinating and wishing. So, you know, sometimes you see things how you want to see it because you're wishing for that to be that. So I don't want that to be the case, and then I end up in an emergency situation. I think it's going down myself as well. So yeah, if you're taking advice from somebody, the first thing they're telling you about kids, you're gonna ask them if do you have kids. So the best way to teach is through experience. So that's all I try to do. Doesn't mean that I'm perfect. Doesn't mean that I know everything, you know. And for very well, the way how life is, people see me now with a wife. Everybody knows who wifey is. But somewhere down the road, you might come to SouFLoTV and be like, "Rotted, them break up." No, seriously? I mean, did over here talk about couples goals and all these other things. So, not saying that I am outside of reality and these kind of things happening to me even. You know, this isn't my first relationship. I've been through relationships. So, I kind of bumped my toe, bumped my head, you know, learned, took those lessons, tried to use them to better myself, moved on. And I'm still here surviving. So, you know, I teach from them angle there and share and learn from you as well, the audience. I read these comments and there are people on here who are wiser than I am in certain situations. I'm not one of the know-it-all people. You don't just come here and say, oh, SouFLo know everything, so I'm not going to just say everything and what he says is gospel. No, I have opinions just like you, and it's okay to share them. All right. And even if they're different from mine, As long as you don't disrespect me, I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm going to look into your opinion. I might be seeing stuff from a different angle. Not true? I saw decent people carry on. All right. We're also going to talk. So we're going to talk about, are you relationship ready? But we're going to leave that for the later part of the show. This part of the show, though, we're going to talk about black and brown relationship. And when I say black and brown relationship, I'm talking about African descent people, or black people as we're called, and we're talking about our relationship with the Hispanic community, people who we call brown people. Because I see a lot of, every time there's movements, I see a lot of black people saying black and brown power and that kind of stuff. And I understand what they're trying to do, the dynamics of it, which I'm going to get into. But I don't think so. They love us like how we love them, kind of thing. So that's why the topic of the video is we love them, but they don't love us, right? And of course, I'm going to talk about an experience I had yesterday leading into this. So here we go. I woke up this morning and there was a headline which ties right back into an experience I had yesterday. See? So the headline this morning says, and this is taken from MSN.com, the headline says, 2 men saw a black man crossing the street and shot him dead because he was black. All right. The details of that story is that a duo of convicted felons in California, so them got jail or prison before or whatever, they have been charged with murder after allegedly spotting a black man walking across the street and deciding to fatally shoot him simply because he was black. William Arnold Armendariz, who's 24 years old, and Samuel Vasquez, who is 22, they were formally charged on Monday with the November 7th, 2015 murder of a 51-year-old Charles Warren Nazer in California. Now, this is according to the California Police Department press release. See? So the story goes further with this. I'm using this story first to not only make you aware, but especially for those of you living in the US, not only to make you aware of certain things that are happening around you. When I say be very careful out there in public space, be very careful in the public space, okay? You don't have to argue with anybody for them to do you harm. There's been situations where people just randomly walk up and slice people's neck, randomly walk up and stab people up. This was a black woman at a train station. It was a white dude. Randomly just shoot at you for no reason, shoot into your car, or see you walking down the street and just pull up and shoot and drive off. So this is a reality. That's why sometimes I say when I am in Jamaica, I breathe a sigh of relief every time my plane touches down. And for the time that I'm there, I feel free. Because one thing I know for sure is that someone is not going to roll up on me and shoot me just simply because of my skin color. Other crimes happen. They might be trying to rob you. We know it's a robbery guan. We know it's a kidnapping guan. We know it's all these kind of things happen. But to take that one thing out of the equation gives my mind some ease. I've never been pulled over in Jamaica by a police officer, and I can say, damn, that was racist as hell, you know, because they look at me like their own brothers. Me and them carry the same hue. We carry the same descriptive characteristics. Them kind of treat me like how police should treat somebody that they pulled over, right? Even if they're a little bit out of line, it is still common decency there to some level and some degree. When I'm in the US, I'm very paranoid. Matter of fact, if I'm at a stoplight, I make sure my hand is on my weapon. If the light changes and it comes to red and I'm driving down the street, I'm telling you the truth. The light comes to red, I'm driving down the street. So if you can imagine being in this mind state, constantly on guard all the time, it's a sigh of relief when you reach to someplace else where you can actually not do that. You just breathe. You know, just be human. Be you. So if I'm at a stoplight, light change red, I grip my weapon, and I grip my weapon because I am waiting, expecting, but hoping it don't happen. Someone's gonna roll up on me, maybe, oh, your music is too loud or whatever. And with saying that, yesterday I went to Walmart and I pulled into Walmart parking lot, and sometimes I do play my music really loud. I'm one of those people. I mean, I was raised in Florida, and Florida is kind of like sunshine, sun's out, buns out, music loud, that type of stuff. If you got the top, drop it, that kind of stuff. So I'm enjoying the day, I'm in my vibes, and I pull up at Walmart yesterday. And when I pulled up to Walmart yesterday, my music was loud. I got out of the vehicle, and I seen this older white gentleman standing behind my vehicle, and he's signaling and motioning, and he's like pointing to his ear, and his mouth is moving. Now I'm still in the doorway of my vehicle, my music is playing, I can't hear him. I didn't hear anything he was saying. So I'm still saying like that. He walks away with his woman. A woman person was with him. I'm guessing it's his wife, I don't know. I said, okay. Our brother yelled, SouFLo, from his car. So shout out to that brother. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name this morning, but he came out the car, and you know, I watch your thing all the time, and brother, so at them party and that, yeah, and we talked, and I actually stood there and talked to him for a good 15 minutes. You know, he wanted to know, he was about to go to Jamaica for the first time since the whole pandemic thing, and he wanted to know where in the city he could get his test done, because you know you have to have a negative COVID test 72 hours or less before you fly. So I'm there talking to him about life and a bunch of things. You know, where I run through everything. Paid that no mind, went into the store. He went his separate way. I'm in the store. I run into the same man. So I run into the man and I said to him, what were you saying to me outside? Were you trying to say something to me? Come here for no. I don't want to be walking around in the store. Them people that shoot up store, them shoot up school, them shoot up building, them shoot up concert. You know, I don't want to be walking around in the store and I'm like, where's this guy? Where's this guy? That's just how I operate, right? I'm bringing you into my mind frame. So as soon as I saw him, I approached him. I want to feel if there is any animosity there and any danger there, anything I need to look out for. So I asked the question, were you trying to say something to me outside? He said, I was trying to tell you that your music was too loud. You must be deaf or something, is what he said. I was trying to tell you your music was too loud. You must be deaf or something. I said, no, I'm not deaf. I was just enjoying my music. He said, oh, that's what you call enjoyment. Okay. And walks away. These people feel the need to police us. They feel the need to be able to tell us what volume level we should play our music at. Now, mind you, when rock music is blasting out of some lifted truck and rebel flag flying from the back, they don't approach these people and tell them, turn your music down, your music is too loud. If anything, they sing along to what they're hearing. The way he walked away was as if he had issues with my music and issues with me just being, but I counted down to this. You just hate to see me out here being so free. You just hate to see me enjoying the day. I'm not under any stress. You understand? I don't tell people their music is too loud. I walk away from where the music is. If you pull up in traffic to me and your music is loud as hell and my windows are down, I simply put the windows up, wait for the light to change, and get away from your vehicle, right? I'm not go around telling people your music is too loud, won't you turn it down some and all that. So I thought that was weird in the first place. However, there have been more than one incident of young black men being shot in the US, and the reason given was his rap music was too loud. I was playing reggae. However, same thing. His rap music was too loud. Can you imagine somebody shooting you because your music, just fire into your vehicle pull out a gun and fire into your vehicle because your music was too loud. So I'm constantly on guard. Now, somebody could say, okay, well, if you know that will happen, turn the music down, keep your windows closed. Why should I hide and move around, subdued just to make you feel comfortable and make you feel okay? That is my mindset. And I also roll with what I call self-defense. I will quickly defend myself. You understand? So within the confines of the law. I don't go out looking for trouble. I don't try being nothing with anybody, but I sense animosity quickly. I'm a good reader of people, especially if you're in my immediate circle. So with that said, there's another story about a guy that died in prison recently, but he went to prison because he stabbed up and then slit the throat of a young black male. These stories never make it to headline. And slit the throat of a young black male because the young black male was playing his rap music too loud. And you know what that white man said? He said, rap music makes me feel unsafe. And I listen to this, and I thought, and it's a danger to not only me but my community. And I thought that I should be more proactive instead of reactive. Ran upon the youth, stabbed him up from behind, and then slit his throat and ran out the store. This guy had just came out of prison. So I'm thinking psychologically, some things happened to him in prison. White guys, black guys probably got a hold of him or got a hold of that ass, if you know what I mean. And these kind of things. So he's bitter, and somebody is going to pay for this when he's out. And it was within 2 days, I think, of him being released from prison that he actually did that. But it was done. Him do it. See? Now, as far as the whole relationship between brown and black goes, let me silence somebody real quick. Okay, here we go. As far as the relationship between brown and black goes, let me finish this story, and then I'm going to say what I have to say about this. So on Tuesday, Patch reported that the police believe the murder took place after Armendariz and Vasquez spotted Nazir crossing the street and allegedly decided to shoot him simply because he was black. Nazir was a resident of the city of Banning, and while walking home on November 7th of 2015, so his case went cold. It turned into a cold case. So this happened in 2015, and they just got arrested yesterday. At approximately 12:20 a.m., William Hernandez, or Armendariz Jr., and Samuel Vasquez drove up next to him, Nazir, who was crossing the street at 5th Street and William Street, exited a vehicle, produced a firearm, and cowardly shot him to death. This is what the police report said, right? The two Hispanic people, Armendariz and Vasquez, then fled the scene. The press release continues before noting that Vasquez is in custody and awaiting trial for attempted murder of several other African Americans. So this thing is, they're just going around randomly killing African American men. Whatever their experience was with African American men has made them this bitter to where they are now randomly going around just killing African American men. Shout out to the people who are married to a Hispanic person, or if you're dating a Hispanic person. But I find that sometimes these people don't really see the dynamics that we're talking about, because some people believe that, oh, because they're dating me, then they're all good. Or because they are friendly with me, then they're all good. Come to think of it, I've never had a good or close relationship per se with a Hispanic person. Not that I haven't tried. just that it never worked out that way. You know, they kind of click up wherever they're at. And remember again, I was in the military in close quarters where you normally become friends with everybody, right? So I became friendly with black, brown, white, yellow, whoever was there. But as time progressed, it never developed into a, hey man, what you doing this weekend? Hey, I'm having a barbecue over at my house. You know, come on over, because that's how we do in the soldier community. Those who live on post, that's how we roll. You know, you and your neighbors, it's their house this weekend, your house next weekend. The relationship never materialized into, hey, come on, let's go out for the weekend, let's have fun. And definitely never had one of those, oh, I want to marry you, take you home to see my family, this kind of stuff. So what I notice is black people, you know, we're the quickest people to disown family, give up our own kind for somebody else. Like, you rarely find an Asian person or a Hispanic person that is willing to turn their backs on their family in order to be with a black person. You heard what I just said? You rarely find an Asian or Hispanic who would turn their backs, and Asian meaning Indian or Oriental or Hispanic. You rarely find those who turn their backs on their own people to be with you. They're not giving up their family for you. Their family have to approve of you. However, when it comes to black people, we're the first ones to say, yeah, so what? My mother don't like you. I don't care. You're who I want to be with. For them, it's my mother has to like you. My father has to like you. My family has to like you. If they don't like you, you can't fit in. You can't be a part. I can't marry you. I'll have sex with you. I will date you. We can have fun. It can even get serious, like one day it could possibly be marriage. But I'm not marrying you because my family wouldn't approve. And I love my family. So we're like one of them. Someone says that's because we, as a people of disobedience, so we are scattered. Ellie London. Morning, Ellie. Thanks for being here. That's true. That's true. They need approval by their family first. So this kind of love that we have for them, that we're even willing to give up everything per se to be with them. They don't share that same kind of love for us. And when we are out in the street screaming black and brown power, that's about numbers. It ain't about nothing else. Because we know that we're only a small percentage of the population. So if we are to stand for any cause, we're going to need others to stand with us. So we choose another oppressed group to join us and stand with us, right? Melanated people. But they don't really care about us like that. They don't really care for us like that. And one of the most uncomfortable things to talk about is how the Hispanic community views black people within their community. If you talk to most of them, they'll tell you, no, we're not racist. Hell no. We love everybody and this and that, right? But you're not there to hear the comments. You're not there at the dinner table to hear the remarks, the racist remarks. Now, for those of you in my comment section, if I have to spoon feed you, I will. When I speak, I am not speaking in general, right? Because everybody with intelligence knows that no condition is unique to one set of people. Therefore, you cannot generalize. So I am not speaking generally and saying that's like me saying every single white person is racist. It is not so. That's like me saying the stereotypes they have about black people, watermelon, fried chicken, ghetto dwellers, that kind of stuff. Not all of us are like that, right? But there are a lot of us that are like that. Not just not necessarily the watermelon part, but the other things. We promote crime. We entertain criminals. We live in areas where there are a lot of criminals. We prey on each other. We are disrespectful towards each other. We love others more than we love ourselves. It's not general, because as much as that is true, there are those who are not like that. All right, so let's get that out the way before someone flies in here into their Superman with their Superman cape on and starts, I have to defend. You don't need to defend. No one is being attacked. I'm speaking factual, and I'm speaking from life experience, and life experience mostly. These people don't love us. These people don't care about us like how we care about them. You know, ever since I was in school, I remember I had a little Spanish girlfriend. She couldn't speak English and I couldn't speak Spanish, believe it or not. But this is when I was very, very young. I'm talking about like 15 years old, 14 years old, them kind of ages there. Maybe even younger. I think I was like 12. I like a lovey-dovey something where you're a picnic, you know? And we had a friend. It was her friend who spoke both languages and she could translate. But I never saw anything of that, like it would go anywhere. But I grew up in Miami, in Florida, and I'm bothered when I see like black females, especially black women. Oh, Poppy could get it. That's a fine Spanish boy right there, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the way how she is worshiping and admiring these people who, when she turned her back, they call her all kinds of names. They make fun about her hair texture. They make fun about everything about her. And yes, they will have sex with you, but you are an experiment. You are an experience. He's not going to wife you, you know, and he can be boyfriend for as long as ever. And he could hit the cat out the box forever without ever proposing, without ever bringing marriage to the table and all that. And she's fine with it in a lot of cases. But if a black man is in a relationship with her, then there's a time limit on how long you can hit cat out of the box and how long you can boyfriend role before you have to, you better put a ring on it. If you like it, then you better put a ring on it. You know what I'm saying? And they will give them like the run of the mill. But for us, it's different rules. Oh, you better marry me. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking to, you better get serious with me, when they're willing to be something frivolous and experiment for somebody else. Even if you go into, say, let's use some big examples. Check out, and he's not Hispanic, but he's white. Check out, say, people like Eminem. Famous person. This mentality of submerged in black culture. Love everything about black culture. But when it comes time to have a family, I'm jumping over to my side. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like Eminem, I would have thought that he would definitely have ended up with a woman of color, at least. But wasn't too surprised when it was time to build a family, and he made sure he found his own. It's not only him. Others are like that as well. I even use somebody like Drake. But Drake is mixed, so he has the pick of both worlds. Because you can't tell somebody not to find beauty in white women if your mom is white. So we have to be fair and balanced, you know, and his dad is a black man. But if you look at his music, his videos, how black women are portrayed, you would think he has a genuine love for black women, and when it's time to start a family, he would definitely find him a black woman, right? No. He'll run through a bunch of black women. He will slide in a DM, fly her out, have a wonderful time, hit cat out the box, and send her on her way. And then when it's time to settle or to have children or whatever, he's going to make sure that it's somebody that looks like his mom or is from his mom's race, or, you know. So it's the kind of the same mentality with a lot of Hispanics. a lot of Hispanics, they love our culture. They love everything about us. They submerge in our culture. But when it comes time to get married, see, marriage is the big step. That's that holy commitment. That's that I love you for life. I'm going to stand with you for life, in life, and my family will be introduced to you. And nobody wants to marry somebody that you can't bring to your family, bring around your family. You have to leave them for every family gathering. Oh, I'm going over to go meet up with my family. They're having a backyard barbecue at grandma's house this weekend, but you can't come, kind of thing. That would be weird. That would be awkward, right? And every time you do it, it will get weirder and weirder and more awkward. My siblings don't speak to you, that kind of stuff. No one wants that. So they normally go with what's comfortable with their family and what their family approves of. Now, there are couples out there that are black and brown mixed, and they're doing pretty fine. But I guarantee you, it's not so many. It's not so many. And inside the intricate details of a lot of these, if you search the background, what's going on, you'll find out that he's not really accepted over there in that family. She accepts him because that's her man. She decided to go ahead and marry. She decided to have children with him, but her family don't really like him. Now, if you have money, that's a different story. If you have fame and a lot of money, that's a different story. You know, that's always passable. But a regular working 9 to 5, even struggling, nah. Her family is going to tell her, or his family is going to tell him, if you're going to go for bad or someone that's struggling, you might as well go for someone that's your own kind, right? Struggle with your own kind. It's not like this person has anything to offer you and that kind of stuff. So it's a very real situation. It's a very real situation. And we tend to not look at it. We tend to not look at it in that manner because we're the people that love everybody, even though nobody really loves us like how we love them. We tend to love everybody. That's my friend. I don't care what you say. I'm going to marry her. I don't give a damn what you say. I don't care if it's my mom. I disown my mom because this is who I love. Yeah? They won't do the same for us. They will not do the same for us. Right now, there's a whole hoopla going on about Asians being attacked in the U.S. And I saw a video yesterday of, it was a black woman too. She attacked an Asian couple females that were walking down the street with a hammer. And they showed the whole video. She just randomly walked up and blow, slapped the lady in the head with the hammer. And, you know, the Asian lady and they started to fight because they're trying not to get hit with the hammer again. And the black lady actually dropped the hammer in the scuffle and she ran. And then she came back and it looked like she came back with a knife. So, but these random attacks on Asians going on, I seen Rihanna jumped on it and she was out in the streets marching, stop Asian hate and all this other stuff. And I honestly, I look around and when it's time for justice for the black community, I don't see too many Asians standing out on our behalf. They're kind of like more the silent people. They'll be like, I see what's going on, but I'm not joining no march. I'm not definitely raising my voice to say, you know, they don't stand in solidarity. I don't see them out there. You will see tons of white people out there. White people on the front line for black people cause. This is one of the things why I said I could never be racist. Because they're there. They're under younger generation whites are willing. A lot of them are willing to stand up to their whole family and be like, I don't want to live in that kind of world that you came up in and you created. This is my friend. He's coming to the house, and I'm telling you, I've known those who never went back home and don't want to go back home. Went off and lived a life of their own. I've known a lot of them that took on a whole family of their own. You understand? Because they're that much in tune with what we got going on. But I've never seen Asians out there like that. Now, if you've seen them, let me know. but I've never seen them. I'm searching the crowd. I'm looking. I'm like, let me see. There's thousands of people gathered here. I'm the type of person, I will slow a video down and watch the video in slow speed and go through the crowd. And I'm trying to, because this is me doing my little experiment. I'm trying to find out where are they at. Let me see if I see them in here. I didn't find one. I did not find not one. Another thing that's off the topic is being in the military as well. I only met one Asian person in the military. Not that they're not there, but I only met one. And I only saw that one. That's it. But bigger than that, when it comes to our cause, they're not there. They're not standing up for you. So it's funny to see us running out with placards and everything out in the streets. We out here in the streets with the placards. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate crimes. We want justice. And then when it's our turn, you can't find not one of them. I uploaded a video. So I went from Hispanic to talking about Asians, but really and truly, I should be talking about both. I was in Jamaica recently, right? And I pull up in front of a store, wholesale store, and I was about to get some things. But, you know, it was close to curfew time, I think. Mr. Chin is what we call them. And they affectionately, they don't find it offensive because they could easily be like, I'm not a Chin. My name is Wong. But why are you calling me Chin? It's so stereotypical. But it's a Jamaican thing or Caribbean thing. We say Mr. Chin, you know? So it's not anything out of hate. Let's get that out the way also. Anyway, I pull up in front of the store and I'm like, can I go inside real quick? Because they're blocking the door. And they're like, no, we're not taking anybody inside right now. We're getting ready to close down or we're fixing some stuff up, whatever. And a brother came by. And if you heard how this brother was begging, Mr. Chin, may I beg you, let me go in that store real quick. Please, me need some formula. He said, me need some formula for my baby. I just want to go in and grab some formula real quick. The way how that Chinese man responded to him, they get the dialect down in Patois. So they will tell you stuff like, they learn to speak it just like, so they will tell you stuff like, oh, suck your mother, like that. Or they'll tell, and then you will have other black people around like, whoa, Mr. Chin done him. Mr. Chin say, go suck your mother. You can't speak Patois, no. And they're more caught up in the fact they're amazed that he could speak Patois more than they're caught up in the fact that he just disrespected the hell out of this man, right? But this man is begging to go in the store, a black man, Jamaica me there, and Chinaman own the store. Chinaman tell him, move. He run the man like a dog. Move from around here. Go away, go. And the man a beg still, you know, even while the man is telling him, move, go away from around there. So I got loud. Right there, down on Mobile, that's right next to the bank in the square. I got loud and I said, you see, Uno, it's people like Uno who give these people this kind of power. I felt the need to speak out at that moment. I said, it's people like Uno that give these people this kind of power. I said, Mr. Chin, talk to you like that. Don't go in and store. Go on next store. Me not care if you have to walk or ride bicycle. Go on next store. Don't spend your money in there. But look at me telling my people that. Next day, them line up same way. It be the same man who he told, move, go from around here, sir. You think they deal with their own kind that way? No. Asian person come up, I need formula real quick, just a formula. They would at least say, okay, just a formula. All right, let me pass it to you. We're not letting anybody in right now, but I'll scan it and pass it to you. We'll take payment right here. Or run in real quick and get the formula, just the formula you need. It wasn't that many people trying to get into the store. So it wasn't like he could have been like, oh, if I let you in, me I have to let in them other 20 people here. It wasn't like that. It was like a couple of us out there trying to get into the store. I already made up my mind I wasn't going in there anyways, because that's just me. I don't beg people for nothing. I come to your store, during store hours, you're not operational, I leave. That's it. I don't beg you to come in. Mr. Chen, please, begging a man, I just some formula me want going there. You won't get that from me. But to see them do it, it was kind of disheartening. And it was a clear picture of why they sit in a position of dominance on the island even. Reading this story about these two Hispanic males out in California that's been driving around killing black people since 2015, because we know since 2015 it was probably before that, because that went a cold case and then it was dug back up and evidence led to them, right? One is now in prison awaiting his hearings and trials and whatever for multiple attempts on multiple different black men. Shooting with intent, shot at and missed, people have to run. You know? So I do shows like this and I say stuff like this to tell you this. I'm out here paranoid. I'm out here paranoid because it could really go down at any minute. And for those of us who live in the States and we're like, oh, Jamaica, things are fall apart. We can't take the killing and the whole heap of it. We can't take the racism. I can't take it. And I can't take walking around knowing that my head back is not safe. And somebody could really literally just point a gun at me and pull the trigger just because of my skin color or what they perceive me to be. You know? So I feel some kind of freedom. Because enough people think it's weird, you know. Them say, SouFlo, you do all of these crime stories about Jamaica, I know what's going on there. And I see them, and you're not making them up because you give with the links to them, or they're already publicized. There's some serious stuff going on. How could somebody feel safe there? Man, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like we're caught between a rock and a hard place. Because if we stay here too long, bad food and racism kill we. And if we go home our yard, we have organic, good food, but gunman might kill we as well, right? And the chances of gunman killing we is highly heightened. Not all of us could afford to go live in a gated community up at Cherry Hill, Cherry Garden, or live up next to the politician them, or around which part everything is safe. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us have to still go around the island. A lot of us come from communities where we are deeply rooted and these kind of things. So it's a catch-22, and it's rough. It's rough. The choices we have to make. The choices we have to make. Garrett Thorne, thank you so much. I appreciate you. We need to have a certain amount of pride, man. This is what Pauline is saying. And it's true, Pauline, but you know what? Pauline will not have no pride. We will beg. We will do everything for them. I've seen a man going to the store in Jamaica and him thief some things. Yes, I mean, they're wrong, but him thief some things, put it on them clothes. I've seen females do it too, thief some things, put it under their clothes. Now, this is Mr. Chin's store. And Mr. Chin have a black man working there as security guard. And you want to see how them handle the black person. This is your brother or your sister now, regardless if they're thieving or not. You are go overboard. You hold them, you have them there, you call police, right? No, them strip the people them down naked in the store and butter them up, and you know, and this is all in the name of defending Mr. Chin, little jar of Milo and pack of sausage and something, them kind of something there. We go out, no pride, no pride. And I felt the need that day to speak out loud, and I did. I did. Make the people them know, say, you're the ones who give these people this power by begging them like this. By making them feel like they're superior to you, you have to beg him. And when him run you away like dog and tell you, move from around your son, go away. Tomorrow you come back to the same store again. You open yet? No, we're not open yet. Okay, me I wait. You know, like some dog, when you lick the dog run away and come right back to you. One to the flag. I took the flag down. I have a green screen up because I'm supposed to be doing some green screen recording, some video, music, video reviews, and that kind of something there. So I'm getting ready to do that. So I'll leave the green screen up here, but the flag is behind it. Now, a lot of our same black people treat each other like crap. Yeah, that's true. And that's another catch-22 for us because they don't treat each other the same way. The Hispanic community is tightly knitted. tightly knitted. I'll never forget. I was in the military, and the higher ranking sergeants. So you go through basic training, then you get to your unit. When you get to your unit, is a whole nother debacle you have to deal with. So especially in an infantry unit. And what the first thing I noticed was how harsh the black sergeants were on the lower ranking soldiers that were black. You know, I had one that took set on me, and funny enough, I was in long enough for me and him to actually become friends, and we talked about it as two black men. This is years later after I had gained some rank and all that, right? We talked about it, been on deployment together, whatever. So the bond had been established. We ended up starting going out on weekends together, you know, partying together and all that other stuff. And I would go to the barracks and chill in his room, and we would do music and whatever. And then he would come over to my yard when we'll have barbecue, cook out these things. But I noticed how rough they were and how hard they were on their own, as opposed to watching the Hispanic higher ranking soldiers, officers, and soldiers. They took the younger soldiers under their wings that were Hispanic. So there was, I'm gonna throw the name out there, but you probably won't know, so I'm not breaching anything. Hassel Daniel, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Sergeant Leha. Then you had Vasquez, and you had Ramirez, and a couple of them, Hernandez. These people, Sergeant Vasquez was high ranking. You're talking about an E7 when you're a private. And he made sure he took these soldiers under his wings. He mentored them. They have I forgot what it's called, but you as a higher ranking soldier, you cannot go fraternization. You cannot go fraternizing with younger soldiers, new soldiers. You're not supposed to be an E7, E6 staff sergeant, and you're taking private so-and-so out to the clubs with you on the weekend, that kind of stuff. But these Hispanic soldiers, they made sure that once these privates came in, they brought them into their fold. They taught them everything that was going on, how to move in that environment, how to get promoted quickly. And these soldiers did get promoted quickly. They rose in the ranks. Before you know it, he was known as high speed. He was going off to Ranger School, Airborne, Air Assault School. He's getting all the schools. He's doing everything. And then you would catch them inside the military community because you can't really hide. And there they were, Private so-and-so over big staff sergeant and sergeant first class house. On the weekend, their families are together. Their children are playing together. They're having barbecue cookouts together. They're drinking together. But for us, it was different. The black sergeants would tell you straight up, no fraternization. Understand? And we don't hang out with privates, that kind of stuff. So they never took you and showed you the way. And they would skin you behind up. I remember you come to me one morning in formation and you did like this. That time I was a buck private. I just shaved upstairs, got dressed, ran downstairs for formation, fall in, I'm in formation. They're going through, inspecting. He looks at my boots, looks at my clothing all the way up, got to my face, and he said something about, he did like this on my face with his hand. Now, this is military life, because in my mind, I'm thinking, what the, you just touched my face. I don't know where your hand came from, but you have to keep that part of you quiet. He did like this to my face, and he said, did you shave? I said, yes, Sergeant, I shaved this morning. He said, well, you must have shaved with a spoon. Now you have 5 seconds and broke into crazy. Mind you, I'm staying on the 2nd floor in the barracks at the time, right? The man said, you have not 5 seconds, sorry, you have 5 minutes. And I swear and I kid you not, when they hit that stopwatch on 5 minutes, you better be back in 5 minutes. They will have you doing all kinds of stuff. So 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes to get upstairs, shave properly, and get back downstairs. Beat feet. I take off. I'm running. I'm up the steps. Ain't no elevator in this building. I'm running up the steps, run up the steps, go into my room, open my door. I'm shaving. Nothing that for shaving. I'm clean shaved. And I know I'm clean shaved. I come back downstairs. This man says, you're 2 minutes and something over. Get down and start pushing till I get tired. I'm down on my face. I'm pushing. Roll over, flutter kicks go. I find myself in the middle of a whole workout. This man start abusing and I'm trying to figure out like what's the reason. So I talked to him later on, years later, about 2 years later, in the same unit. I talked to this guy because we're now friends, right? Weird dynamics. I talked to him about it. You know, one of them nights we were drinking and stuff, and let's get loose, let's talk. I said, you know, man, you were a piece of, you know, because this and the other. You know what he said? He said, you don't see how the unit's set up, bro? It's 4 of us that came in here and we're black. And we all ended up in the same platoon. And the first thing they did, one morning before formation, we gathered. People gather in their little cliques and crews before you hear first start coming down, formation, and you fall into your formation. So we gather outside, you're ready, your uniforms proper, boots shine, everything, you're ready to fall into formation. And they saw us, 4 of us standing together. And I'll never forget, Captain, I won't say his name. He passed and he said, what are we having over here, a gang? We're forming a gang. That comment, we looked at each other as soldiers, a gang. The white boys are in their group over there. The Hispanics are in their groups over there. They came to the 4 of us and said, we're forming a gang. So we looked at each other and we said, damn, this isn't going to end here. By the next morning, all 4 of us were in a different platoon. Then they even took one of us and sent him to headquarters over to a whole other side of the building, a whole other company, right? Bro Shaka, shout out and thank you, man. I appreciate you greatly. Bro Shaka said it's sad but true. Most black people will never wake up, and that's why I'm glad I have bogle blood run through my veins. Why the whole away? Let me refresh these comments. The whole away have bogle blood, nanny blood, all this blood run through our veins. It's all a matter of are we going to recognize that and stand on, you know, principles and stand on that bravery. Because not everybody brave. It's not everybody brave, and a lot of us are willing to subject ourselves to certain things just in order to move ahead or have a better life. Yeah. But the topic of this conversation was about they don't love us like how we love them. And I'm talking about the Hispanic community. And I went off into the Asian community as well. There's no support for us when we're going through our BS and we need support. There's no, and they definitely don't see you as a life partner. And I'm not talking about all of them again, but I'm talking about majority of them. We are the only people who will give up our own whole family. F my mom, I don't need her approval. I'm a grown person. Whereas for them, it's a big disrespect to dishonor your parents, and they hold that sacred. Even if they're to marry somebody who they didn't really want to marry, they would prefer to marry that person and know that the family is good with it. The family is good with it, than to have you there and them not have a good relationship with their family. Now, Bridget Clark says, you can't expect others to respect us if we don't even respect ourselves. Yes, and that even goes to with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. You know, at first I was like, why are we talking about that? You don't talk about whites killing whites. You don't talk about Asians killing Asians. But I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. We are some brutal people towards our own. You know, we are some brutal people towards our own. So it's kind of hypocritical to be out here shouting Black Lives Matter. Oh, Ray Ray shot Lil Pookie last night. Shh, let's not talk about that. Black Lives Matter. Did you see where the white police officer shot the black guy because he was disarmed? And they would rather focus on that than focus on the main problem. And you just said it. The main problem is us not respecting us and us not loving us enough. And if we did, they would be forced to follow suit. They don't mess with certain communities, and we don't see certain communities being treated certain ways simply because they have a united front. They're united in their dollars and cents, and they're united as in they stand in numbers for their own, not us. We're definitely not united in dollars and cents. Daniel Williams says that brings back so many memories. When I was in the army, I went through some similar circumstances. It's funny when I say things about the army to my army buddies. You know, there's a Facebook page that I'm a part of, and a lot of the guys who I served with, they're there, but there are also other military people there. And if you ask most of these military people, they'll tell you you're talking bullshit. There's none of that going on, but there is. There's a lot of racism in the military, man. A lot. And it's one of the main reasons why I got out. Because people were like, why'd you do that many years? Why didn't you just finish out or whatever? I wanted to get the hell out of there because I could not stand in front of a racist person who was being blatantly racist, look him in the face and say, pardon my language, you're a fucking racist. I didn't have the right to do it if I was of a lower rank. Why? Because they can use other things to hurt you in there. For instance, there's something that's called nonverbal disrespect to an NCO, a non-commissioned officer. So if they talk to you, hey, dickhead, get over here. Move that and put it over there. If you do like this, okay, all right, Sarge, I got it. If you do that, just this right there, written up, you're not only written up, you can be barred from promotions. So this is you holding me back from excelling. And all along, the underneath of it is, I just don't like black people. I've been to their rooms where I learned about artists like David Allan Coe. Let me see if I could pull up a David Allan Coe real quick. I've been to their rooms where I learned about artists like David Allan Coe. That's the kind of music they play when they're off duty, locked in their room. You go in the room, you see the rebel flag flying, and they tell you this is about heritage. This is not about racism, but it's about racism. It's about heritage that's deeply rooted in racism. You know what I mean? But they're able to leave that, come downstairs, dressed, rank on, and do all kinds of madness to you. Have you crawling face down in the dirt for 100 meters back and forth, low crawl, go till you are muddy and dirty, and then get up and run and do all kinds of stuff till your body starts to go into muscle failure and all that, all because they don't like you, not because you did something wrong and you deserve that kind of a punishment. So the military is one of them kind of places where you got to be strong-minded. Anybody who survives that can survive anything outside of military life. I'm telling you, because they would put you through the ringer in there and hide all that racism behind military doctrine and military code of ethics and rules and whatever, when it has nothing to do with that. Jen Jones says, in my opinion, it's economics. Black unity doesn't sell. Destruction of the black man, family, unfair education, and lack of jobs keeps us in our place. And that is because that is what we feed into. That's what we feed into. That is what we make trend. That is what we make popular. That is what we deem attractive. That is what we support. That is what we buy. We did that. And we continue to do that. You can use a simple example of posting two different kinds of videos on the channel and monitoring both of them to see where the videos go. How many interaction, how many views, how many comments, right? Hardworking black man, upstanding, responsible father, take my family on vacation. All these crime stories about Jamaica, I go there and I show you, hey, look, we're still able to come here. There are still other good people here. Culture is very vibrant. There are good places here that you can live. I'll show you how to maneuver through the place, you know, avoid this kind of area. Don't get involved in that, which is the same thing for everywhere. There are places in Florida that I would not dare go, and you won't catch me there after dark. There are places in the state of Florida that you definitely won't catch me driving through there after dark. And if you go there, they're called sundown cities. Sundown cities means don't let me catch your ass around here when the sun goes down. Those rules, that's why Ahmaud Arbery got caught up in one of them situations. These things are still real, right? But I don't know, we sell, we buy into our own destruction more than anything else. You can look at it from the music. You can look at it from, and I don't want to hear about other people infiltrated us, and that it is because we were buying it. It is because that is what we made popular to do. Yeah, we made that popular, and that's our own mindset and our own destruction. Just like I said, you won't see this happening to certain people, certain communities, because they are united. Their dollars are united, and that is understood. That is understood by the governing entities and the powers that be. Look at the Jewish community. Nobody really messed with them. They're very powerful and they have their hands in everything. Oh, you want to be rude and disrespectful? Fired! I'm going to take your whole career. And they do. They don't have to stand in the streets and argue with you. They don't have to rah, 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 and they'll kill the boy. No, they go about it another way. And you find yourself out here struggling. Easy. Pen and paper, swipe it. And they have links with the judge, and they have links with high power attorneys, and they have links with business owners, and they have links with real estate companies. So any which way you go, you're caught up in the law, they could really sink you. Oh, you're looking into real estate. They could really F you over. Oh, you're going into this business. They could really hurt you. Oh, you're seeking a business loan for so-and-so. No, denied. You know, they control it a whole different way. It is the same thing for those other communities, and their powers are understood simply through unity. So I guess, again, the messages this morning is stop loving other people more than how you love yourself, because it plays out in a whole different way for the long term. And you will be actively handing down this subservient level of living to your future generations just by what we're doing now. Yes, Bridget Clark, not just the Jews though. They are very united people, but so is the Hispanic community. Listen, man, I see a Hispanic group here, right where I live here. They do roofing, right? And okay, somebody I charge you $5,000 to put on a new roof, right? Just throw a number out there, $5,000 to put on a new roof. Hector has his roofing company. Hector Roofing Company starts out small. It's just Hector, his wife is on the roof too, and his brother-in-law. 3 of them doing a whole roofing job. I seen these people wait till evening time come, and when you look over there, you see 20 people on the roof. And you're like, rotted. And by the time you wake up the next morning, the whole roof done. In one 24-hour period, they mobilized about 10, 15 of them, bring their food, bring their drinks, everything. Done the roofing job, collect that $5 grand, split it, gone, one next roofing job. We don't move like that. We don't move like that. If any one of them are having anything, I've watched business places in my state in Florida, because I was looking for a place to open up my own restaurant after my mom's restaurant closed. I ran hers for 2 years, so I have some knowledge now of how to run it, and I've been saying I want a restaurant. So I'm looking at places, right? Empty spots. Yeah, it would have go good right there. So contact the people, find out how much it is to get in, whatever. I watch businesses go in there. I watch a black cake and donut shop go into one spot. In no time, close down, out of there. Ain't no black people going in there to support them. I watched a Caribbean restaurant, 2 black women put their resources together, open a restaurant. Nobody going there to support them. Not enough for them to maintain their business. Closed down out of nowhere. Couple of spots around the city, and I've been watching them now for years. Hispanic restaurants go into each of these spots, except for one. It's a sushi restaurant. Went in there. Booming business. I'm talking about huge parking lot full day and night. And they fly their Mexican flag, and every Mexican in the city makes this their place to congregate. We're having a wedding, that's where we're having the reception at. We're doing family gathering, get-togethers, this is where we're meeting at. Want to meet up with a friend on the weekend and have a couple of drinks, this is where we're going. They support their own. We in everybody else something. We're over Mr. Chin place, we're over the Spanish people in place, we're over everybody else's place except for our own. When we get to our own, we're like, damn, for oxtail, this how much y'all really want to charge, though? Man, let me get the jerk chicken instead. They charge a lot for jerk chicken, though. I remember people used to come in and argue about the price of a patty because the patty was 25 cents more than the patty from another Jamaican restaurant that was way down the street and another one that was across the street. And they would argue for 25 cents. And I would have white people come in and they would say, how much patty you have, mister? And say my mom's name. How much patty you have? How many patties you have ready? And she would say, I just did a fresh batch. We do them in, I think it was batches of 10, 20, 30, big trays, go in a big oven, 40. We do them in batches of 40. They would say, give me the whole batch. I got to take these down to, and this particular guy that used to do this, we had one that used to drive from Orlando. And from Orlando to where I'm at is an hour-and-a-half drive. And he would let my mom know that he was on his way and he needed the man to come order. He's taking the whole of what we cook for the day. Everything gone. Pack up the whole restaurant, wipe it out and gone. And we have to recook everything again. Because we're like, well, what if he don't show up? And we package it up to go. We can't unpackage it and sell it to people. So we will wait till he get close enough. Yeah, I'm here, I'm pulling in. Boom, boom, boom. The man take everything. We have to start cook all over again. Yeah? Our people come and argue about a 25-cent difference. And they'll tell you to your face, you know what? F y'all. I'm going to go down the street to JoJo's or so-and-so because theirs is cheaper. It's the same patties. Damn. But yet still, if you look at them, head to toe, car they're driving, European, just pulled into the parking lot, brand new Beamer or Benz, clothes they're wearing, they're not afraid to let you know what European brand the clothes is and how much they paid for it. Cause my shirt alone at $500, my shoes, let's say $500 shoes me have on, my pants, you know, my hat, my everything. But they will argue the daylights out of you for a 25-cent difference on the menu. And they will swear you off and make up their mind to not even come back to your business over just that. Real stuff. So we damage us. Yeah? And we can't blame nobody else but ourselves. We're not united enough and therefore we cannot stand. But don't get it twisted that you are loved in the Hispanic community and the Asian community because you're not. Some of them might like you, but you're not loved in their community. You're definitely never going to be put in front of their own. Let that sink in. With that said, since I put this in the topic and I was 5 minutes late this morning, I'm going to run into this over here, grab my little board, put it where I can see it better. So I'm going to run into this now. Let's switch topics for a minute and let's talk about the relationship part. So remember I said I'm no expert. Remember I said I'm not perfect. So I don't want y'all coming over here like the guy who was professing to be a relationship expert. Remember the guy that we covered on the video recently that got exposed because while he was there apologizing to wifey for cheating on her, he was actually communicating with the person he was cheating with, even though he's supposed to. Most of his videos were about toxic men and what women should avoid and what kind of man she should look for and all this other stuff. And, you know, a lot of the women were like, oh, my God, he is so perfect. You have a brother, you know, I mean, are you single yourself and all this other stuff. So he's into bodybuilding and stuff. And he sold that to the ladies, you know, the big chest, chisel up body, all that, plus all this talk of perfection. Don't mix me with him. I'm not that person. So if you see me butt my toe and stumble or go through some changes down the road, just know, say, I'm human and things happen to me too, just like it happened to everybody else. Me writing this down is me teaching myself as well as giving some knowledge to you. If you want to take it, you take it. If not, leave it alone. So leave relationships alone. A lot of us think we're ready when you're not. I could say leave relationships alone if you just broke up. Because you know, one of the common things that we do is we break up and then we go right into another relationship. Some people are transitioning. Like while they're in one, they've already started another one. And their goal is to end the one they're in to go with the other one. So that's very toxic within itself. Don't do that. But that's not on the list this morning. See? So leave relationships alone if I have 5 pointers. If, 1, if you're not mature enough to own your wrong or accept when you have offended and simply say a genuine sorry. A genuine sorry. Just own your wrong and say a genuine sorry. If you're not mature enough to get to that place, because not everybody is. Some people, nobody is ever, everybody is wrong. They're never wrong. I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship with somebody who is never wrong, has never apologized for anything because they have never been wrong. You know? So if you are one of those people, leave relationships alone. So if you're not mature enough to own your wrong or accept when you have offended and simply say a genuine sorry. That's 1. Number 2, if you have unresolved daddy and mommy issues. See, a lot of us have unresolved daddy and mommy issues. Like, for instance, you see a lot of these females that I see out here talking about man have to do this and man have to pay for that. And there was a conversation going on the other day about if she paying half of the bills, what she need you for? Or something like that. And there was a lot of females on there that are saying, yeah, a real man wouldn't let his woman pay any of the bills. That's his responsibility. You take care of home. She could do other things with her money. It's up to her to be wise and save the money for a rainy day for the family, whatever. Or, you know, they're trying to talk sense, but I think it was the rapper, The Game, said something about she shouldn't have to pay any bills if she has a man. Now, this is a common thought among a lot of today's females, right? So if you have unresolved mommy and daddy issues, see, a lot of people, they weren't taken care of by mommy and daddy. So they have this unresolved issue and they're out here looking for mommy and daddy to take care of them subconsciously, because they don't walk around saying, oh, I want you to be my daddy or I want you to be my mommy, even though they do call, just like the same psychology behind black men referring to their house as the crib. Yeah, I'm gonna head back to the crib real quick. You're not a baby. Why are you heading back to the crib? It's your house. You're going to the house, right? You're going home. But there's a deeper psychology behind that than just a slang. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same mentality. They're looking for somebody to mother and father them subconsciously without even knowing it. So if you have these mommy daddy unresolved issues, then stay away from relationships. Okay? Because you're just going to frig up somebody else along the way and set yourself up for, because let's face it, we're humans. When relationships end that we have invested in, it hurts. Even when time we did it, I talk about, I won't miss you. Go on about your business. Yeah, whatever. You're still going to hurt. You invested in it. You're going to hurt. So nobody goes in and invest to fail. Right? So if you recognize these things about yourself, you could stop yourself from setting yourself up for a heartbreak, from setting yourself up for another relationship that will fail. I don't care when nobody wants to tell me so. Once the relationship, you're invested in it, you're going to hurt when it's over. But y'all know how ego goes, right? Because when time argument, broken relationship are popped down, the ego kicks in. And the ego is, I'll be fine without you. Go on about your business, all this other stuff. Unresolved mommy and daddy issues is number 2. Leave relationship alone. Solve those issues first. Number 3, and I only have 5 of them. Number 3, if you are unable to recognize your character flaws, or if you do recognize them, but you are not actively working to better yourself. So someone will know so we frig up in them. Some people know their issues. They know, yeah, I got anger issues. So what? If you've gotten past the point of, yeah, I got anger issues, so what? If you've gotten past that point to where you're like more reflective, yes, I have anger issues. I have to work on these. If you haven't gotten to that point yet, leave relationships alone. All right? You have to be able to recognize your character flaws and work on yourself. Now, I'm not saying you have to be perfect in order to enter a relationship, but just the fact that you have recognized what it is that could be a problem outside of yourself and you're actively trying to fix it. Notice I'm not talking about just one side, you know, this goes for all of us, right? All right. Number 4, if you are an argumentative and cantankerous person, leave relationships alone. So, you know, some people, everything bring argument for them, right? They have to argue over everything. You say the simplest thing is an argument. Anything you say is an argument. They just love arguing. Do you know that some people are addicted to drama? Like literally, just like how a smoker is addicted to his weed or his cigarettes or his tobacco or whatever, they need it. They actually need it, like a part of their brain actually needs it to feed, to feel okay, to feel like if they're not getting that one argument every day, then, you know, the day didn't go good. That kind of stuff. If you're argumentative and cantankerous, leave relationships alone. You see, in a relationship, man, there has to be a balance. Somebody just said 50-50. Very true. There has to be a balance. So if your relationship really means something to you, then at some point you're going to have to quiet the ego, swallow the pride, and sometimes you have to say, you're sorry. When you don't know what the hell you are apologizing for because you never did nothing wrong. Or sometimes you have to just hold around for peace sake. So the goal of the relationship then should always be about getting back to loving. Not that arguments aren't going to happen. We're not pitching that utopia. Not that arguments are not going to happen. Not that disagreements and blown out fights are not going to happen. I won't miss a fight, I mean verbal fights are not going to happen. If you're in the licking, punching, we're not talking about licking, that's your business. If you're into the, I can't even stick my damn tongue out because my mouth's swollen. You're not into the licking thing, I talk about licking. If you're not pumping, If you're doing that, then left the relationship, the period, regardless of whatever the hell else is good in it. But if you're a cantankerous person, left relationship alone. Sometimes you have to hold around. Sometimes you have to quell an argument. Sometimes you have to be the one to say, babe, I don't want to argue. Okay? Whether I'm wrong or you're right, or I really don't care. At this point, I don't want to argue. I just want to get past this right here and get back to loving you and you loving me. If you're not mature enough to say that, and you feel like it's okay to get up and fight with the person that you supposedly love every single day, I mean, any intelligent person would know that that is leading to the end of your relationship. So if you get up and you perpetuate this all the time in your relationship, you might as well start pack your bag, don't it? You might as well start pack your bags. You might as well start looking at other places. You might as well start moving right along, right? Says the man that follows up disagreements with disrespect. You talking to me? Brent. So wifey is here. She just entered the chat. So you have to be the kind of person to just quell an argument sometimes. Not be in the whole argumentative and cantankerous spirit all the time. What Brent says the man that follows up disagreements with disrespect. Number 5. If you are a baggage person, thank you, Gillette, for the feedback. If you are a baggage person, you drag around your problems. You constantly drag yesterday problems. This is the final one. This is the number 5. So if you are a baggage person, if you drag around your problems, if you're the type of person who constantly drags yesterday problems into today, like next week you're arguing about stuff that happened 4 weeks ago or a month ago, and it's something that comes up very often, that kind of stuff, then leave relationship alone. You have to be able to let go of things. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to let go of things. You have to be able to move forward. If you can't move forward, then common sense is telling you that there's the end coming. There's destruction of your relationship coming because you have drag around your issues, right? So those are the 5. If you are not mature enough to own your wrong and accept when you have offended, and simply say a genuine sorry, not a. Some people say sorry, but the sorry could have stayed because the sorry follow up with, might as well not say sorry. Then if you have unresolved daddy and mommy issues, that's 2. Number 3 is if you are unable to recognize your own faults in your character, or you recognize them, but you haven't gotten to the place yet where you are working on becoming a better person. That's number 3. Number 4 is if you are argumentative and cantankerous. And number 5 is if you are a baggage person. You drag around baggage all the time. Yesterday's problem becomes today's problem for no reason other than you just feel like dragging it over into today. That kind of stuff. Then all those 5 are with you. Leave relationships alone. I'm not gonna left it this morning. True, you have to let go of things sometimes. Yes, you have to let go of things. You have to move forward. You know what I'm saying? You have to move forward. You have to always remember that being in a relationship is a choice. Nobody forced you into it, and no one has to force you out. You can choose to leave, and you can choose to stay. So if you're going to stay, and if you're choosing to stay, it's like this. I wouldn't choose to live in a house that is dirty, messed up, roaches running everywhere, rat crawl over my face while I'm sleeping. So why would I choose to be in a relationship that is heading towards the end of the relationship and invest in it, heading towards the end? You know? So you have to recognize these things within yourself and just try to fix you. And that is all you can do. So with that said, we shared that this morning. Brains mash up in my head, you know. Blade Brown. No, sir. Mash up my head good. But she said what she said. I would She said what she said. I'm there. So flow for me, I rather to be alone than be unhappy. Very true. Very true. I've come to understand that now though. Like I hear some people say, oh, I'd rather be alone. Ain't nothing fun about being alone though. I don't care how much anybody try to glamorize it. Ain't nothing fun about being alone. But sometimes it is better to be alone. There's actually a verse that says them prefer sleep on the rooftop than to sleep in a house with a cantankerous person or something like that. So it's up to you what you can handle and what you can go through. Me no know. I work in the nursing home setting when I'm doing OT, and one of the saddest things that I see is the people who get no visits. They are broken, and they watch other people get visits, whether it's from a spouse, whether it's from friends and family, versus them getting no visit from nobody. And we normally say to ourselves, like, that sometimes tell your character, the kind of person you lived your life as. Because at the end stages, see, ego will make you say stuff like, me prefer to be alone, and I'm going to be alone. Me no want no relationship with nobody. And the long term, you see, you outlive what you speak. So the long term end up being, you're laying there alone. You not even have somebody to have a conversation with. You know, you have somebody to have a conversation with, a genuine conversation with. The only people are around you are the CNAs and the nurses and the doctor when them come to check you. And they're all on a schedule and they're treating you like a schedule. You know, I'm in, I get the job done, I'm out. They're not there for your conversation. And you're dying with just needing someone to talk to, that kind of stuff. So being alone ain't as fun as it cracked up to be. There's a lot of freedom that comes with being alone. Yes. But even all those, after a while, fade. You know what I'm saying? Who God bless says, my biggest fear is to grow old alone. Some people aren't even honest enough with themselves to admit that their biggest fear is to grow old alone. Because you're not old yet. So, and your ego is going to take over and tell you that you will be fine. You don't need nobody, you're good, you can be alone. Other people are investing in building their foundation now, right? And they invest and they invest and they fix themselves and they invest and they sacrifice and they invest. And then years later, and like I always use my grandparents as an example, both in their 90s now, ailing. One's ailing. Grandma just had her leg amputated and that kind of stuff. And I look at them, and I look at my grandmother. She catch a cramp, and she beat her leg so cause it cramp up, you know. And my grandfather, he can't even stand up straight no more, but he's hobbling to go get the bay rum so he can put it on and sop up the part the fear that's cramping. You're gonna wish, if you live that long, that you had somebody around. Now, I mean, given the dynamics, your partner could die before you. But if your partner died, then you have all rights to go get another partner if it's in marriage, right? But growing old alone is not all that it's cracked up to be. When you're young, you can say that. But you're going to outlive your words. A lot of us are going to outlive those words. And then we're going to see the reality of actually growing old alone. Plus, growing alone, you can't really build no foundation if you choose to be alone for so long. So that's just my take on it. Assisted living, them want SouFLo. Yes, assisted living. And assisted living, something that is not all that it's cracked up to be. You understand? I've been in some wicked facilities. I've seen people do the man. I remember them. I heard some CNAs calling one. Me laugh, but it's not funny. Calling one man, do them. Oh, he took a shit again. Damn, girl, I'm tired of changing him. You go change him, man. Let's switch halls. And they come in the patient room and they're behind the curtain and they'll never see me. I'm here. Hey, do the man. You took a shit again. You know, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. And these are usually the people who have nobody that's coming to check on them, to say, hey, what's going on with my dad? Or what's going on with my mom? Or what's going on with my wife or my husband? Is he going to therapy? How long has he been in the bed? He's supposed to be up every couple of hours or whatever, because you know, poor circulation, blah blah blah. Are they getting him up? Are they taking him out of the room, or is he spending all day laying on his back looking at the ceiling in here? Further contributing to his depression and all these other kind of stuff. Because depression comes with old age, you know, believe it or not. And logically, you could see how, as you age, things start to fail, right? Naturally, things start to fail or fade in how them used to work. I talk about everything. I not talk about your private part. I talk about everything. Eyesight start go, hearing start go, olfactory, smelling, tasting start to go. You know, you better hope you have somebody around you who can say, no, that's too much salt in your food, because you assault the food, I try to taste the food. And next thing you know, blood pressure spike high because you put the whole bottle of stuff. Everything start to go. Eyesight, hearing, smelling, tasting, just everything. Then organs start to fail. Shoulders get weak. I had one patient, he couldn't lift his arm because he had severe arthritis in both shoulders. Couldn't lift his arm enough to scratch his head. Had limited range of motion in his both shoulders. Could not reach around to wipe his own butt. When it was time for him to take a poop, he couldn't really pull his pants all the way down. And if he did, he couldn't get it back up. That kind of stuff. So just simple stuff starts to go, and it adds up as you age, older and older, right? You better hope you have somebody around that cares enough to ask some questions about you, to make sure you're being okay. No matter how old my grandfather is, him still asks about my grandmother, him still make sure that she's okay. Him not eat unless she eat first, or she gets something to eat as well. You know, that kind of thing. So that getting old alone stuff ain't all it's cracked up to be. It's not. It might be fun when you're young, but as you age, trust me. I know someone who has always says that he doesn't need anyone. He is sick and he wished he had someone by his side. He's young. That's all. Thank you for sharing that, Angel Eyes. That's another thing. When you're young, you think nothing can happen to me. I'm invincible. I'm gonna be good. You know, you treat relationships and people frivolously. For those of us who do, and you're like, on to the next one. We can't take this. We can't bother too much. You know, that chatting and everything. And then things happen. Things happen because in your young age, more young people today are getting sick more than ever before and are dying of old people diseases and old people ailments today than ever before. You understand? So you'll have a 20-year-old female that has a double vasectomy. Vasectomy. And you will have, you know, these things are happening. And you can't go through life thinking I'm invincible. This can't happen to me. You know what I'm saying? I've shared stories before about soldiers who came home very young. Imagine going to war at 21 and you come home after a long deployment, but you come home with both legs missing. And your spouse, because you got married really young, because this is the love of my life. This is my high school girlfriend. We've been together since junior high. You know, we're adults now. We're still together. I want to marry her before I go off into the military, have babies, all this other stuff. So I'm building my future with you. Start off young. One little incident, lose your leg, and the first sight of you, she take flight. This is real stuff that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Somebody says that makes sense. Build on your own. Yeah, no man is an island. No man stands alone. Remember that. So you can't and the elders have never been wrong. That's why I quote my granny so much, because the elders have never been wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that build on your own, and I like to be alone, and I can be alone, don't need nobody stuff. Yeah, man. You say anything you want to say. I'm telling you, people always let their ego lead. You see me? And then life has a way of humbling you to where you have to eat back all that talk. So Someone says, definitely SouFlo, your face is definitely going down compared to yesterday. So it's looking a lot better. Diane Allen, thank you for the feedback. I needed that feedback. I feel better. I can open my mouth wider now. I couldn't open my mouth yesterday more than like, I was trying to eat some cheese balls the day before I went to the doctor, and I literally had to crush them out on my front teeth and then push them into my mouth because I couldn't open my mouth enough to get the little cheese ball. Why, nature man? Why? Cheese balls, not cheesy balls. But yeah, it was that bad. So now, you know, I can open my mouth a little more. So I feel the difference, and I'm definitely seeing the difference. Remember, I said I'll come back in the mornings now, and you can tell me each morning if it's going down, because I don't want to be lying to myself and then end up in an emergency situation. Original Explorer, thank you. I appreciate you greatly. Original Explorer says, when life starts take you, you'll wish someone was there to help you. I'm telling you, I'm the kind of person I learn from watching other people. Me not have to go through nothing where you go through. I can learn from watching you and your mistakes and know what not to do. I'm not the kind of person who said, I don't want to hear nothing from them. Me have to go see it myself. No, some things I don't need to see myself. Some things I really don't need to see myself. And if I know, because I've seen others go through it, then it's only wise to position myself to not end up in that situation as best as I can. I can't predict the future. You don't know. You can marry 10 different people and all 10 of them dead. You would have saw it. But all 10 of them dead before and you outlive all of them, and you still end up alone because everybody else forsake you in old age. But the chances are highly unlikely in comparison to you just choosing to go it alone, because you don't need nobody else. Yeah? So no man is an island, no man stand alone. And from their primary school or basic school, no man is an island, no man stands alone. Remember them used to make us say that? It's true. It's true. So build on your own all you want to, and then be smart and get someone else that's into building and adding on to what you've built. See, we make mistakes, and we, like, some people build on their own and then get somebody when yam out all that they built on their own. Then them want to kill the woman them, or they walk, you know, or they walk and complain about the man a user because you know come and yam out everything. I mean, really yam out everything, including you. But build on your own is okay. But then you match up with somebody else who's building as well. And you know, you put your little nickel with for them little muckle and you make a, you know, a nice decent something. That's how I think it should be, and that's what I'm aiming for. So some people are lucky in love more than some. Me not think so. Blessed peace, I don't think it's luck enough. I think it's some people's temperament and some people's personality are different than others. If you notice, the people who are able to sustain an honest long-term relationship are usually people who are a certain way. Like they're committed to their relationship and they're with someone that's committed and they work towards. Because two people have to want it. That's first of all. You can't just be in a relationship and I talk about, are you alone and fix things up. You can't, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So when you have two people that match properly, maybe they picked properly. And I said it in the beginning of this. You know, people run from relationship to relationship. Sandra Clark, thank you. Thank you for the feedback. You know, you run from, you keep making these same choices. That is why, back to the board, it's important to recognize, that's number 3. It's important to recognize your character flaws, or to recognize and to do something about them. Actively start working on being a better person. So it's all about the commitment. It's all about the mutual respect. It's all about both people wanting the same things as far as what the future might bring for them. You know what I'm saying? Some people lock into a relationship and they're, in a sense, you're right, kind of lucky because they're both the kind of people who are, I'm not a move along onto the next one kind of person. Now, if you're a move along onto the next one kind of person and you go link up with somebody who is not, that somebody who is not is going to be in hurt sooner or later. because you'll probably be, oh, can't stand that, oh, can't live with that, oh, I'm out of here for that. Whereas the other person is not a move along kind of person. They're like through thick and thin kind of person. So it's all about the personality of the persons, you know? True, sir. It takes two people to make it work. Definitely. Definitely. And two of them have to be on the same page. And if you're not on the same page, you have to know how to get on the same page. That's why, again, I go back to, if you're not mature enough to own your own wrong and accept when you have offended and simply say a genuine sorry and that kind of thing, you know, just the common decency between each other, caring about the other person's feelings and wanting to see them happy, that kind of stuff. If somebody is not in that mind frame with you in our relationship, then it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. The end is near. And the end might take years, but the end is still near. Because in the grand scheme of things, a couple of years ain't a long time. Talk to my grandparents, them, you know what I'm saying? Them say 60 plus years together. I have to say Ray and bust a champagne for that. Because that can't have been easy. That can't have been easy. My grandfather had children outside of his marriage. Not children, but one child outside of his marriage. And I told you all the story before. I cuss a woman one day at Jamaica. Me there at the standpipe, I catch water. And a woman cut in front of me. And I say, you think no chink and so on a flower, you're cranking a donkey. Some stuff that we learned in school and learned growing up. And this woman run to tell my grandfather, and lo and behold, this is how I discovered as a child that this was, and I was confused because I was like, but grandpa married to grandma. I mean, no, all of their children, including my mother, it's no, my auntie them and all our brother them, my uncle them, how she come in and she looked like she for them age. So I was puzzled, but but me never make it rock on my brain. You understand? So it ain't like their relationship has been perfect. There are horror stories along the way, but you just have two people who decided that this is it for us in life. Not to mention they are deeply rooted in their faith. So without getting too deep into religion, they're deeply rooted in their faith, and there is a part of their faith that says this is not a frivolous commitment. This isn't dating and we hook up and call. This is when you go, for my grandparents then, when you go before God and man, this is their perception, right? When you go before God and man and you take that vow, they actually believe like you will get struck down if you take a vow before God and then dishonor it. So they've made up their minds to be committed to God and to them union. Now that's deep. That's deep. Now some people talk about religion. I'm not here. I'm not God. I don't know what religion is correct and what's not. And I don't fault people for their religion. Matter of fact, I don't even have religious conversations with people because I don't want nobody to come tell me about me. This is the right one and you believe in the wrong thing, and me just hold my thing to myself, and I advise others to religion and politics. Them two there. Left it. Chairs and Benches TV, good morning. Thank you for being here. And I did see your email and I will get to it. You know, the face is getting better, but if you watched the video yesterday, you see where I was at. And the day before that, it was even worse, right? So I'm healing up, and then I can start working on things and reaching back out to those who reach out to me. So shout out to Chairs and Benches TV. Always actually, I'll go over there and support those sisters on their channel as well. It's a very informative channel. The content is clean. It's not derogatory. You won't be covering your children's ears or turning it down when respectable people are in the room and those kind of things. It's a good channel. Go tune into their channel, hit that subscribe button, and tell them SouFLoTV sent you. I'm just saying, I like to go over there and see my name. That way I know that we moving as a unit and we're supporting each other. All right. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We're working on feeling better. All right. Now, use some vinegar and gurgle. Listen, I was using, what's the other thing called? The clear liquid that's foamy when you put it in your mouth. For the life of me, I can't remember it. but I was using that in my mouth, but apparently it was too late. I think I caught that infection shortly after I got the extraction. So me using all those gargles and stuff, it wasn't doing anything to help it. All right. So we're gone too far this morning. Extended talk this morning about the whole relationship and Spanish peroxide. Thank you. Somebody told me yesterday, SouFlo, I hope you read this comment. You probably won't see it, but if you do, please use peroxide. I was using peroxide. It wasn't working. The infection had gone too far already, right? Why for the ball? What? Yo, Roderick Shaw. Why for the cheesy balls? Cheesy balls in your mouth. Eh? I was eating some cheese balls. And I had to crush them out on my teeth. You can't talk to Jamaican people, you know. There's always a why for something. But anyhow, I love y'all. I love y'all. All right, big up yourself, each and every one of you, manners and respect. Somebody says, us and Troy and y'all got to link up. Yes, man. Troy, shout out to Troy Star Trucking Vlogs. I say his every single morning. I do the live. Troy's such an inspiration. And I've been following the channel. I don't remember how I discovered it. But I tell you that my brother, who I lost at 23 years old, he was 23 when he passed. My brother was heavy into trucking. So everybody else got out of school. And we were like, this one I go in military, or before I go to the military, I'm going to do a skill trade. And, you know, we're plotting our ways in life. His thing was trucking from the get-go, you know, and he wanted to be an owner-operator and own his own rig and all that. Sadly, he wasn't able to accomplish all that before he passed. So, and Troy kind of resembles my brother. So I vicariously, you know, I'm just living through his channel. Like, these are the things my brother would have gone through and went. So I have a different vested interest in Troy Star Trucking Vlogs. But for those of you who are truly into trucking, or have a remote interest, or even just want to see and learn like how truckers, some of the women have man who are truckers, and you don't understand nothing about what your partner does. You know, why I'm always gone from home, why I'm this, why I'm that, why I'm saying this took that long to do and all that. It's a good channel to just go and veg out on, just watch it. Very informative, very well spoken, brother. Channel is very entertaining as well. You don't even have to be into trucking, but go support the channel, check it out, watch his content. And definitely same thing for Chairs and Benches TV. Chairs and Benches TV, one of the most interesting videos for me on you guys' platform was how to migrate to Canada as a student. That was very informative for me. And coming from people, how I started this video out this morning by saying, when you are talking to people and they're giving you advice, if someone is telling me about children and you must do this with your children and that with your children, the first thing I want to know is, do you have kids? So coming from people who actually did it is as valuable as it gets, right? So over to Chairs and Benches TV and check out their channel, check out their content. They have way more than just that. That's not all their channel is about, right? Them have fun stuff over there too that you can laugh at, get a joke, laugh till your belly busts and these things. So go check out their channel as well. See? All right, Lorraine Bailey says, when I heard you say cheesy balls, I bust out laughing because I know some Jamaican going to say something. That is why when I said it, I said, why for the cheesy balls? If you don't know, the rest of you, that's Jamaican's way. If you're talking to a Jamaican and you hear why, just know say you went wrong somewhere. Try dress the talk there, because the talk just became undressed. It was naked. Fix up the talk there. Why? Why means fix up that talk. Okay? So with that said, why for the cheesy balls? All right? It was and we're gonna leave it right there. Big up and shout out. All right, Hugh English says we need to talk trucking, especially on the impact it has on your health, relationship, and family life. Well, Troy would be a good person to go live with, just like Chairs and Benches just said. Troy would be a good person to go live with on that topic. I mean, he's really out there living the life. You know what I'm saying? And he could impart a lot. There's another brother who used to contact me all the time, hasn't contacted me in a while. And him contact me one day, you know, and him send me pictures and stuff of a funeral. It was a Rasta funeral. And he said that his Rasta brethren, who is also a trucker, went to sleep in his truck and he passed away in the truck. He had been driving for hours and hours and hours, and apparently blood clots that formed in his legs traveled up to his vital organs, and he died in the truck. So this brother actually says, SouFlo, please pass this message on your platform. This is a while back. Please pass this message on your platform. Tell the truckers them, or people who are sitting down for most hours of the day, to take a low dose of aspirin. Get on a low dose aspirin regimen. All right, get on a low dose aspirin regimen, and that will help you to liquidate the blood so blood clots won't form and you won't end up like his good brethren did. Blue Honey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, Blue Honey says, can you talk about good areas in Florida? Good Honey, are you in, Blue Honey should say, good areas in Florida. Are you in Florida? Yes or no? And good areas for what? Like, I can tell you about good areas to have fun in, and then, but then you don't want to live in those areas. You just want to go there for fun. And then I can tell you about, oh, you're in New Jersey. I would say, if you're thinking about moving this way, you're living in New Jersey. So you're thinking about moving this way. So there are quite a few good places here. There are a lot of suburbs here. I grew up in Miami, but I wouldn't advise anybody to go live in Miami. For me now, Miami is about partying, conducting business. Miami is pretty amped up and pretty busy and has become very overcrowded. There are places in, thank you, Makeda X Words. There are places in Fort Lauderdale, in the Fort Lauderdale area. There are nice places in the West Palm Beach area. And the areas between West Palm Beach, or should I say the places between Orlando and Miami, not Miami and not Orlando. Orlando has its suburbs as well, but the places that are outside, in between Orlando and Miami, and we're talking about from Orlando to Miami about 100 or something miles, probably 200 miles. So there are quite a few places in there. New Smyrna Beach, Cocoa, Florida, Port St. Lucie. Yes, thank you, Patsy. Port St. Lucie, these kind of places. Sunrise, Vero Beach, my Florida people in here, they standing up strong. Thank you for asking the questions because they're definitely helping you out. Off top, Davenport, Kissimmee. Boy, Kissimmee far. I don't know if I because, but actually my cousin lives in Kissimmee and she's lived there for years now after she came from Jamaica. Her and her husband made life in Kissimmee. They have one of them house that what we call a rotted house. Yeah, but they live there and they're pretty young and they're well established there. It's way out in the boonies for me because I remember going to visit her and my truck tire blew out. And there's this stretch of road from where she lived to get to the highway. And there's nothing on both sides of the road for miles but swamp. So I couldn't even put the truck up on a jack. I tried jacking the truck up on the truck, lean sideways, and was going to fall off the jack. That kind of stuff way out in nowhere. But Kissimmee is kind of far out for me. But yes, they have nice, quiet suburbs out there as well. And it's not too far. Pearly Charles says, Orlando, Florida, me there. I love it. Yeah, Orlando has its Marlene News. Yes, Marlene, right in Palm Bay, Florida. I never used to say on SouFLoTV before where I am in Florida, but I've started saying it because now when I go outside, it's like almost every single time I go outside, me hear SouFlo, and it's a new person. And yes, say that. SouFlo, I never think we'd ever meet you in person. Some people want to take pictures, some people, you know. So my wife not gonna believe this, or my husband not gonna believe this. I just saw SouFLo. We watch him every day, and he see me here in the grocery store. Yes, me in the grocery store, my big toe them out, no socks, slippers on, or you might see me in socks and slippers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out there in shorts and t-shirt, a regular person. Go to the grocery store. No need to dress up, doll up on these things. But these kind of areas you see them mentioning here are some of the nicer areas. Good places to grow up children. I drove through the park the other day and did a video that I was supposed to put on Instagram. I don't know if I did, because I was trying to show other people that Jamaica don't necessarily have to be on a lockdown, because the kids here are not on a lockdown. Karate still a keep, dance classes still a keep, cheerleading still keeping. I just went to the park a few days ago, baseball and soccer, the park packed from one end to the next. But I noticed, and I wanted to put it on video, there were like 7 police cars strategically placed in different areas around the park and outside the park perimeters. And this is for security reasons. So the children here, they grow up kind of privileged and very protected. Now, I don't want to scare you, but Florida is also, I believe, the #1 state for sexual predators, for people who have been tried and convicted in a court of law of molesting or raping or having engagements sexually with minors, and they are here in numbers. On the good side, we have the registry. So if you buy your little house somewhere, or you're renting a house or apartment somewhere, you can actually go on your registry, because they are all made to check in and their address is revealed. Now, some people might say this is dangerous to them, because somebody might say, yo, a child molester, that man, I'll kill him, because it actually tells what they went to prison for or what they were convicted of. Some of them says rape of an adult female. Others says sexual intercourse with a minor under the age of 12. It says it. So somebody might want to take revenge. I'm not too worried about that part there. I'm telling you, though, that if you discover that, you don't have to be too afraid. Use your registry to find out who is in your area. You'll be surprised to find out, for those of you who are already living here, how close some of them are living to you right now. I just moved into a neighborhood where I am like there's a driveway street, and then there's a house across my street, and then behind that house there's a school. So they're not allowed to live that close to a school, so I'm pretty good, right? But you can search the registry and you can find out where the predators are, and then you can navigate your way. These are those of you who have children and you're worried about these things. Surely you don't want to go move right next door to a sexual predator who was convicted of relations with an underage child, and you have underage children living right next door. You know what I mean? So these are things you can look into, but most of the places they just showed you on here are pretty nice places. Some of them are really close. I don't know if Kissimmee, some places in Kissimmee are close to the beach, but I know when you come further south of Orlando, then beautiful beaches are here. Y'all seen my beach vlogs? Beautiful beaches are here, you know? And a lot of the beaches are, you have sections on the beach that it looks private, almost like you have a private beach to yourself. So, and lifeguards and beauty and, you know, all the luxuries of living in somewhere that is well funded is what you'll get when you come to Florida. So that's about it. So registry only shows who got caught. Yes, that's true. We can't do nothing about who didn't get caught already. If that's the case, then I need to grill up and bar up my house and stay inside and keep the kids inside forever. We can't get caught up in who didn't get caught yet. But you're right, the registry only shows who got caught, but it's healthy, or it's important to know who got caught, who's tried and proven. You are tried and proven molester, we don't want to live nowhere near you, right? Especially those who have repeatedly offended, don't want to live nowhere near them. Marlene Newman says, I'm very close to Mr. Eli's shop in Palm Bay. Marlene, you know what? So I've been looking for Magnum, the drink Magnum. And I'm contacting people in Fort Lauderdale and all these other Rocket Boys. Shout out to Rocket Boys. I contacted them and a bunch of other people, and they told me they don't ship those things anymore. You have to drive down there and get it. And you know, Palm Bay to Fort Lauderdale is a distance of a drive. So it kind of inconvenienced me. Lo and behold, I walked into Eli's shop. And Eli's been around for years. Like every Friday, my mom would send me to Eli's shop to go pick up her fish because I can get the fish fresh. And she like a certain kind of fish, you know, the woman real picky with our food. So I would go there. I walked in there a couple 2 weeks ago or a week ago, 2 weeks ago, before all this. And I looked at the counter and there was Magnum. Somebody just scrape off all of them off of the counter and I bought all of them. And I don't know if he replenished the supplies yet, but I'm probably going to go around there today. Now, I can't consume any alcohol or anything because my mouth is a certain way and I'm trying to heal. But I will have them if he has them. So that's another thing about this part of Florida. It's kind of like a community. If you've been here long enough, you can be quiet if you want to, but there's also a community here. So people are going to know you. People are going to know you. Not that they have to be in your business, but they're going to know you. And especially if you have children, they're going to know you. Because your children are going to start going to events that their children go to. Then you're going to buck them up. Then they're going to say, oh, SouFlo, are you that? Yeah, my youth player. See my youth there, number 57 on the football team. And I'm like, yeah, that's my youth, number 44. All right, then, SouFlo, so and so, and we'll start talk and them kind of things. So it's a good place and safe. Safe. I don't like to brag too much, but in the part of Florida that I'm at, we literally drop asleep sometime here with doors open, windows open, and not worried. You know, if you're paranoid, you're going to lock up the whole house and you're scared and you're afraid. Here, you just, you know, you lock up the house, yes. You have to be safe. Crazies are around, but you don't go out of your way. You don't feel in danger, except for them people there. You know, them people there who might show you some kind of animosity, like they're mad because your music is too loud or that kind of stuff. But other than that, you're good to go, man. Really, you're so lucky to get Magnum in the US. We always have to bring them back from JA. Patsy Barnes, we brought back a whole bunch of them from Jamaica and we done them off so quick, right? So yeah, and another thing about this part of Florida is you will get all your Jamaican food here. Now, mind you, we did a video on SouFLoTV where we talk about the food. Like, for instance, eating yellow yam in Jamaica is not the same as eating yellow yam in the US, because that yam has been out of the earth for a certain period of time, and its nutrients, the vital nutrients in the yam, have faded. When you're in Jamaica and you get your food from a cook shop, from a man that grow the food around a back that's up, dig up the yam, peel it and put it in your soup, you get a different effect on the body. But we still get all our Jamaican foods here. There's a huge Jamaican community here and that kind of stuff. Some people say them no one there with no Jamaican community there because any which part it there, their drama did it. Well, you don't have to mix and mingle with everybody, and not everybody is the same way, so don't generalize. You have a lot of Jamaicans here. Matter of fact, the mayoral race for this city had a Jamaican female in it recently. It's just that it also had a Hispanic male in it, and the Hispanic community came out in droves. I knew that the Hispanic person was going to win that election because driving around, every house that had Hispanic family in it had his placard on their lawn. See? But we're progressive and productive here as well. So no lipa bugoyaga. The only thing is, for young people, there's really nothing to do here. So you might have to travel. Go to Orlando, go party, or go to Miami, go party, or go to West Palm Beach or somewhere else that's popping. But there's really nothing here for younger people. So even then, if you're business minded and you have a little bit of finance can get started, this could also be a good opportunity for you. A lot of people have come here, open up them little restaurant and gathering spot and all that, and they're doing pretty well. Yes. Evan Edwards says that female potential mayor is from St. Mary, Jamaica. Yes, I didn't know she was from St. Mary, but I do know definitely that she's Jamaican. So we're here. And the mayor of Fort Lauderdale. The mayor of Fort Lauderdale is a Jamaican, right? And I believe the captain of the police force or something like that. Don't quote me, but we are here and we're well rooted here. So you're coming into a pretty good place. A pretty good place. People look out for you here as well. Like for instance, wifey did some shopping and I think they sent Amazon or whoever she bought her stuff from sent her stuff to somebody's house. They didn't take the package. They drove it over to the house, pull up in the driveway and handed it to her. You know, that kind of stuff. Your neighbors are going to tell you who they saw on your lawn or who they saw walking up your driveway if it wasn't you and that kind of stuff. So this is my part where me living, I'm speaking foreign. And pretty much this whole city of Palm Bay is like this. You know, but you have your places here that you definitely don't want to go. Because if you end up there, you're going to end up in problems. And you will definitely be a ghetto dweller. Cost of living, not too expensive here. Cost of living has gone up significantly over the years. It's starting to get expensive. There was one time gone a few years ago when you could get a one-bedroom apartment for like $450 to $500. And I'm not talking about no ghetto nothing. I'm talking about an apartment building that is fully fenced around, you know, security at the gate. You have a washer and dryer inside your apartment or a dishwasher built in to your apartment, all these kind of things. You have a balcony and all these things. Them kind of apartment that not exists no more. That's gone now. So cost of living has gone up here. However, you will see your money here. Some people who live in like New York, they're like, man, I'm making $90,000 a year. I can barely survive here. Well, hell, if you're making $90,000 a year and you live here, you're going to be balling. You're going to be doing pretty good. Pretty good. Right? You may invest in a portable ICP. What is that, Fallon Carrington? What is a portable ICP? Please educate me. I feel like talking this morning, so now we've gone over 2 hours, and nobody is going to be rewatching a 2-hour video. Trust me, with you just talking. So you may invest in a portable ICP. I don't know what that is. I experienced it daily at work, being a manager and giving staff directives. All right. I love how the West Indian community has planted and all kind of tropical plants and trees. Yes, and I love that. Lauderhill looks like Jamaica minus the mountains. Yes, if you drive around in, say, Palm Bay, we drive around and like pick out, I bet there's a Jamaican live right there, so, or somebody from the Caribbean, because you look in the people backyard and you see sugarcane and you see them orange tree. Some people have soursop tree. Some people, I say ackee tree. Ackee tree. So you can get your own ackee off of the tree versus eating ackee out of a can. You know, they're well rooted here. And there's a park here that has a West Indian club. And then they have West Indian parade. It's not really a parade. It's more like a gathering at the park that is done, a West Indian cultural event that is done on an annual basis. So a whole heap of link up here for you. Whole heap of connections here for you. And you know what we do already. We look out for each other. Some of us anyways. The ones who are productive and progressive, if you're a productive, progressive person, you're going to run into them. Them link up here as well. So then we tell you which part, yo, you know, so them hiring down at so-and-so, and I can just put in a good word for you, you know, come put in an application and this kind of thing. So you have the link ups here as well, right? Marlene Newsman says, I have lots of fruit trees here in Palm Bay. I need to start planting. I haven't started planting yet, but I need to start planting. We definitely want an ackee tree, but I would probably want a smaller ackee tree because, you know, ackee tree, the big one, them grow big. So I don't want the root come tear up like my fence lining and these kind of things, or start growing under the pool or them something there. Anyways, Ray Gibson says, wow, that will make you feel like you're at home. Yeah, man. Enough times when we fly from Florida into Jamaica, there's not much of a difference, especially now that Jamaica is becoming more developed and also more Americanized. There's really not much of a difference. You know, the weather tends to be like the same, except for, I don't know, Jamaica stays warmer longer. So the water in Jamaica is warmer, so you can chuck off in at the beach at 7 o'clock in the morning in Jamaica, and you can't do it here because the water is cold, and you have to wait till the day heats up to warm up the water and them kind of something. But minor things, minor things. The Caribbean community is strong here, very strong here. Sir Alfred Benjamin says, still live 2 hours, still live, 2 hour show. Yes, and ain't nobody gonna watch no 2 hour show, so me just a chat till me done chat. Camel says, did you enjoy the storm yesterday? No, me never get no storm. This is Ellie. So Ellie is in the UK, right? Or no, Ellie, you're in, where are you at, Ellie? Makeda said, wow, Patsy, that sounds lovely. I'd love to relocate from Maryland. It's too chilly up. We can't take the cold again. Can't take the cold again. I lived in Europe, and for an extended period of time, I lived in Europe, and I lived in New York as well for a while, for years. And I've had enough of the cold. I've had enough of the cold, and I've had enough of the overcrowding. Them two there, they were fun while I was younger. You know, something is happening 24 hours. You can always get into something. Me don't want to live them kind of life no more. I'm good. I'm good. Let me be off in the suburbs, off in the cut, where it's quiet, and after certain hours, you can hear a pin drop around here. I go outside, walk my driveway, look up, and I see a whole bunch of stars, and I hear nothing. Them kind of life that I like. So if you're pursuing that, this is the place to be. Actually, go outside and lay down on my driveway, spread a blanket, and lay down and look up at the stars and have star watching with my daughter, because she likes to do them something there and that. You know, not worried about who will attack. Where are we in a safe neighborhood? Anything can happen. I'm in my driveway, looking up at the stars late at night. Not a sound. Florida will be my place of retirement. That's the closest to home. And the convenience of hopping over to the Caribbean from Florida, right there. Literally get on a plane, and before I could doze off, because when I'm traveling, I make sure I stay up late the night before, so I sleep through the flight. By the time I doze off like this, I hear, we will be landing shortly. Please go ahead and put your seatbelts on. We'll be landing in Norman Manley International or Donald Sangsters International in about 10, 15, 20 minutes, something. I'm like, we just got on this plane. So the flight, especially if you fly out of Miami, the flight is like less than an hour is what it feels like. So we're like right there, you know, and that helps for those of you who have family back home as well. And you can just jump in, check on them, come back. And sometimes you get really, really cheap tickets. $200 and something. Some people get tickets for $100 and something round trip and catch a special and duck out a couple of days, come back. Right, so it's not like we're way up. So how much for your ticket to go home? $1,200. Fort Lord, I can't afford that. I have some bills to pay. Those are the convenience of living here. Carnal is in Jamaica for 4 months. Came back early April. Oh, Camel. I was in Jamaica for 4 months. Came back early April. How was those 4 months in Jamaica? Talk to me next. Yes, we have the best of both worlds. Yes, we do, definitely. Selling my little house in PA, headed to Florida. PA. Pennsylvania? I'm not gonna say too much about Pennsylvania because I don't really know the place. But I went into Philly. That's no different from Brooklyn, New York. That place is like bricks everywhere, crowded, all kinds of activities happening on your block. You know, I made up my mind I didn't want my children being raised in New York, especially in Brooklyn, New York. I didn't want them being raised there because it's a whole different life. I used to have young dudes come in the shop, and to pay for a haircut, I charged them $10, and man, give me $50, $40 tip on a $10 haircut. and these kids are like 14 when they go in their pocket, and you know you're 14, so you're eager to show off, not knowing you're putting yourself in danger. So they're like Redman, bless his soul, because he got killed in Pennsylvania. But they would go in their pockets and they would come out, and the pile of money would be so thick they couldn't even put their hands around it. So these little kids are like on the block in Brooklyn getting money, you know, all day getting money. And I make more money than a lot of adults are making, cash money. And I saw that and I said, nope, don't want my kids out here. So as soon as my son, mother said, hey, I'm pregnant, off I went. And we ended up in Europe for years before we came back stateside. Right? He even has what? Moringa tree. Yeah, missy all kind of fruits and vegetables here. The people I'm good. Hold on, Princess. Pardon me for not saying your name right. The name the longy man. Let me look like we can't read. But Princess Analem Tenning in Newark says, I'm in Brooklyn. Watch it. That name, you're sure nobody else don't have that name upon on any platform. That is your name. All right, stand out with your name. But yeah, watch it. So do you think that Brooklyn, New York is a good place to raise children? It's Ethiopian. It's beautiful. I just can't pronounce it. Or I can pronounce it, but it takes work. It takes work. So yes, very cold. All right, let me conversate. How did you travel with the C-19 policy at the airport? To Jamaica. Well, I don't know if you're asking me that, but me just come back so I can talk as well. And I did video on it, and Brains did video on her channel too, walking you through step by step, every single thing you need to know. Actually, I won't even discuss that on here. Go to her channel, right? And she has a video on there that wasn't posted too long ago. And it pretty much has every single step of how to get ready to go, how to get tested, what's going to happen when you get there, what will happen when you come back from Jamaica, all that other stuff. So she has it. It's a chore. It's a chore, but at the end of the day, it's what you have to do, right? I saw a brother yesterday that SouFlo, and we end up talking for a good little while outside of Walmart, and he wanted to know the same thing, like where in Palm Bay area, Melbourne area, he could go get his test done, how soon he should get it done, because he said he's leaving on Friday, and yesterday was Tuesday. So I said to him, it's Tuesday. So yeah, Wednesday and Thursday left. I said, you're really pushing it. The only advice I would give you is try to get it done within that window, because I think it's 72 hours. Go and go watch Bryn's video. She tells you everything about that. All right, SouFlo, check out Tariq Nasheed YouTube channel. I will. I will. Is Tariq Nasheed the brother who moved back to Jamaica? And he said he was just tired of the racism and all that other stuff in a foreign. Is that him? Let me see if it's him. Tariq Nasheed. The name sounds familiar. And I think I went over to the channel before. Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed. I think this is him. No, this is not him. This is somebody else, because the other person has like only a couple, probably like 200 and something subscribers or something. So that's not him. But I'll check out the Tariq Nasheed. I have it on the screen right now. New York City, period. Hustlers, hard-working people. Not where you from, how you raised. Brooklyn born and raised. Definitely. But that stuff gets old, you know. Nobody wants to be on a damn, I call it the hamster wheel. Nobody wants to be on a hamster wheel constantly. That stuff is when you getting it, you getting it. But after a while, you kind of, well, that's not for all of us. Some people enjoy all that, all the way through life. I just got to that place in life where I was like, that's not really for me. I prefer a quiet suburb where not too much happens. Okay, somebody says no, he the foundational Black American movement. Okay, I'll go check it out for sure. SouFlo, if you fly out in the UK, they were charging you £5,000 fine. Them say UK is not joking. It's like them get us in a concentration camp to Ross. So them would at least, so they would permit you to fly out and then charge you for flying out. That don't make no sense. Planes should be grounded. Nobody should be flying out then, right? Boy, it's sticky. Isn't the UK supposed to be opening up again for travel sometime soon? I saw something on the COVID thing and concerning Jamaica police force yesterday, but this video has gone on too long, and I think this is very important information to know. So I'm going to do that on a separate video. All right. He did the Hidden Colors DVD. I've never seen those either. So I have some catching up to do. So them charging people, that is a form of punishment, or that's just a, I mean, I don't know. My 19-year-old was an introvert. He will not socialize, no, nothing, just books and computers. He prefers living in Texas, not Brooklyn. Texas is lovely. Texas is very lovely. As y'all know, I'm in between Texas and Florida, but Texas is lovely. It's another one of those places that we have these preconceived notions about Texas and, shit kicker boots and 10-gallon hats and how to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, gunslingers and that kind of stuff, riding around on horses. It's all that. It's all that. But when you go there and you see Black people riding around on horses, how they do, and gunslinging, and it's a whole different vibe. They have something called Zydeco, which is Texan Black music. It's called Zydeco. Zydeco. Go look it up. You'll probably be over here starting to dance up yourself too. But yeah, Texas is beautiful as well. But Florida is where it's at for me, man. As far as raising the kids and living here, a place to rest my head. It's Florida for me. All right. So manners and respect, people. Big up yourself. We've gone way over the hour. All right. And I enjoyed every minute of it, and I hope you did as well. Shout out to each and every one of you. I know some people came late and wouldn't mind me talking for another hour or us talking to each other for another hour, but we have to go left it right. That's all. See? So big up to each and every one of you. At Texas was #1 on my list for relocating, but I'm trying out Florida. Joyful Lee. Texas is too remote for me. That's the thing. Like when it's time for me to travel to Jamaica, the tickets are going to be like hella expensive compared to flying out of somewhere in Florida, especially where I'm located in Florida. Boom, drop down there, Fort Lauderdale, fly out. A little further down, bam, drop in Miami Airport, fly out. Cheap ticket, that kind of stuff. So, but Texas is where it's at for good life as well. People don't really bother you. You live out in the boondocks if you want to, or in some suburbs and these kind of things. There are a lot of progressive, productive Black people in Texas, Black-owned businesses and communities that do support each other and that kind of stuff. So that's another thing. Am I going to Atlanta? But Atlanta is one of those places as well. Anyhow, manners and respect, big up to each and every one of you. Thank you for coming out. We're going to end this live right here this morning. We went way over the hour, but it's okay. All right, I'll catch you tomorrow morning right here. God spare my life, because I'm not in control. God is in control. So if God spare my life, I will see you right here tomorrow morning on SouFLoTV. Walk good, my people. Walk good. All right.